Sorry for the sudden interruption. I'm going to assume that this is Jane's mother's phone number that I'm texting, correct? I am her fiance David's father, and you can call me Michael.
Sorry for not having gotten in touch with you any sooner. My name is Laurel. I think the last time we spoke to one another was years ago when they'd first started dating, right?
I was able to get your phone number from David.
Yes, I heard about that from him. Sounds like you have something to ask me about, so what could that be?
Well, then allow me to get to all of that right now. Understanding that something like Jess's family having only been her and you, that would make for a bad picture of us, and I'm therefore going to ask that you do not come to her wedding in 2 days.
What? By that, do you mean that you're upset with the fact that I'm her only parent currently?
Correct, that's what I'm saying. Just the idea of someone having only been raised with one parent is a bad one.
I understand that, but what about the rest of the family that will be going to the wedding?
I have people that I can have stand in for you, so there won't be any problems there.
You're having people stand in? I can't believe this. What have Jess and David said about all of this?
Considering I'm the head of this house, those two will listen to everything I have to say about it and abide by it. I just need you to stay quiet and make sure not to show up to the wedding on the day of.
No way.
Anyhow, I'm going to need you to cut ties to Jess. I'm already having to take on someone like your daughter who had a stunted education and everything under you, so you should be more than thankful for that. If you really care for your daughter's happiness any, you won't speak about any of this to her.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable.
Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No I'm not giving up, no I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show
exact same place that both Mom and Grandma have been going to for years now and are very familiar with Jess's mother because of it. And the only reason Jess and I were able to meet in the first place was because of their relationships. Then, here's something that I think you of all people will find very important, Dad.
What is it?
It seems that a lot of those hair salons have been left under the supervision of Cameron. And you know that Cameron has plenty of other businesses that he's taking care of as well, right? And the main company that he's in charge of happens to be a massive business partner of the company you're working at, Company W.
What?
He happens to be Jess's brother, but you never met him before because all of the times you guys were around, he was busy with things like the businesses. But you did get his business card at one point, correct?
His business card? So that's what that business card was all about?
Don't tell me you threw that card away or something. So you did toss it.
I thought he was going to try talking to me some more later on about how he wanted to sell me his lovely company or something, considering he never had a father growing up to make him into a proper businessman.
Jesus! So you didn't even have a look at his business card to see the kind of man he is. And when you were told about where Jess's mother has been working, you didn't listen to any of that either. Seems neither your eyes or ears are of any use to you then.
Whoa! How dare you say things like that to your father? Everyone and their mother knows that fatherless households like theirs are utter disgraces. Sorry that you can't seem to wrap your head around that or anything. That is why I asked for Laurel to stop talking to Jess anymore, so that this family's image didn't have to be stained by her.
I see. And here's a response from Cameron, the CEO of Company W, to what you've said to his mother. Then, this is the end of my company and your company's relations as well, correct?
What?
Dad, you were the one in charge of business relations between Company W and your company, right? Seems that you've been causing a lot of trouble for Cameron's company and the man he left in charge of relations with you, all because he's a bit younger than you. Well, just a couple of days ago, on Friday to be exact, that man went and made a complaint to your company about how you've harassed him.
He complained?
Your company was told that as long as you are overseeing the business relations, there would be no more business between you guys and Company W.
What was that?
In preparations for this wedding today, you took off that Friday, right? Well, when it comes to this Monday, you're going to be hearing all about what's happened while you've been out of the office. And here's a word from your CEO of Company A.
Huh? My CEO is here right now with you guys?
Cameron happens to be close friends with your CEO, and considering how long they've been friends for, he's also family friends with Laurel and Jess. In other words, not another person here has the same kind of skewed views on people like Laurel that you do, and not a single one of us wants you around.
No way!
If you understand what I've said, then hurry up and leave this place right now. If I have to have a father like you around during...
I was built to last when the webs are weaving. I could change the past with all of my achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop competing. If you break my glass, then this life's coming.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic. Go!
To last with the webs I'm weaving, I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grieving. Put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim, yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I can change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grieving. Put your foot on the gas, no, never stop competing, yeah.
Side, the shame and financial strain of the affair had left her with no other options. Imagining the lonely future that awaits Michael is nothing short of painful. Here was a man who not too long ago had everything, a stable career, a family, a comfortable life, but his own actions, fueled by selfish desires, led him down a path that cost him everything. The affair with his subordinate not only destroyed his marriage, but also derailed his career in ways he could never have anticipated. Michael was once well respected in his field. As a sales executive, he was the face of the company, often negotiating with clients and securing deals. He had a certain confidence about him, always walking through the office with his head held high. But that same arrogance might have blinded him to the consequences of his actions. Perhaps he thought he could juggle both his professional and personal indiscretions without being caught. But life rarely works out that way. His wife, who had stood by him through thick and thin, had every reason to leave. After all, this wasn't just about a single mistake. When he carelessly mentioned an affair once or twice, it revealed a deeper problem. He saw his infidelities as minor transgressions, dismissing the hurt and betrayal that they caused. It's no wonder that once the truth came out, his wife could no longer tolerate being in the marriage. Their divorce wasn't just a personal matter either. It rippled through Michael's professional life. The company likely wanted to distance itself from the scandal, and removing him from his position in sales was an easy way to minimize any damage. He went from being a key player to someone who could easily be forgotten. In the corporate world, once you lose your relevance, it's nearly impossible to regain it. Now, Michael spends his days in the shadows, performing trivial tasks that no one else wants to do. The irony is that despite all this, he cannot leave his job. The alimony payments to his ex-wife are a constant reminder of his mistakes, and he's trapped in this miserable routine, knowing that quitting would mean financial ruin. His pride might be bruised, but he has no choice but to endure the monotony, watching the years slip away from behind his desk. As for the woman he had the affair with, her fate seems equally grim. In a sense, she was a casualty of Michael's recklessness, though she too made her own choices. Voluntarily resigning from the company was likely an attempt to escape the shame of being known as the other woman, but it came at a great cost. After paying her share of the alimony, she retreated to the countryside, where her career prospects are likely limited. One can only imagine the isolation she must feel now. Together, their affair not only destroyed their lives, but also left a trail of pain and regret. Michael, once so confident and full of himself, is now facing the reality of a lonely and desolate old age. The choices he made in pursuit of temporary pleasures led to permanent consequences. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Gavin. Why did you bring your parents along with you on our private vacation again? This time we were taking this trip as a way to make up for the lack of a honeymoon taken after we got married, right? We both were busy with work around our time of the wedding, and that's why we couldn't go anywhere after. We even had my parents take the kids so that we could go on this vacation without having anyone else coming along with us, right? So why did you bring your parents along last minute?
What is wrong with you, Alice?
Also, when it comes to our seating on this plane, you three are all sat together while I'm having to sit in a different row all by myself. Why do I have to be all by myself when the row you're in has 4 seats available?
We didn't have a choice in that, okay? Both of my parents wanted to come on this trip with us this morning, so when I went to buy them tickets last minute, I had to change where I sat in order to be together with them.
But what I don't understand is why from the beginning you were sitting in a different row than me on the plane.
Just be happy there were enough seats for the 4 of us to be on the same plane together, Alice. And you got to sit in premium economy, right?
This isn't about me being in a better seat than you guys. And this plane isn't even close to max capacity, so there sure was enough seating for both you and I to have sat together and for the 4 of us to have sat as well.
What's the big deal of going on vacation with both of my parents anyway? This is my way of saying thanks to them for allowing you and me to live in a different house instead of having to live together with them. I'm being a good son.
Listen, Gavin, if you wanted to have your parents come along, then why did you say no to me inviting my parents as well as bringing the kids on this trip? I don't get it.
Oh, come on now. If we brought along everyone on this trip, we'd have to spend way too much money.
I'm not talking about money right now. Honestly, I just wanted this trip to be the 2 of us, yet you went and brought your parents with us last minute.
Are you saying it won't be any fun having my parents along with us?
That is not what I'm saying.
Well, no matter what you have to complain about, they're already with us now, so there's nothing we can do. If you want for just the both of us to go on vacation, we can do that the next time we have a chance.
Oh, whatever, Gavin. I don't care anymore. Alice, I heard that just a little bit ago you had a lot of things to say about my son. Don't forget that our son makes sure we hear about everything. I should have known that he'd show you all those texts. We are sitting right next to him, so of course we'd see what you were saying whether he showed us or not. The fact that you can't even understand that our son is trying to be good to us, wants to be good to us, proves that you're a failure as a wife. Is that the only reason you're texting me right now? To tell me that I'm a failure? I'm just letting you know what I think before we get down to business. I just hope you remember what I've just said to you here. Well, none of what you've just told me helps our relationship anyway, so no thanks. Excuse me? So can we get to what you want to talk to me about now? Oh, that's right. I have to talk with you about this as soon as possible. Listen here, Alice. The hotel that was reserved for us to stay at tonight only had one room available. I'm sure you'd love to talk about that now, since there's 4 of us staying there. Originally, this trip was just for Gavin and I to be on, so we only needed 1 room. And since I had no time to tell you and your husband that this morning when you came bursting out of nowhere saying that you were coming as well, we're all stuck with 1 room. I see. I've been aware of that. Since we only have 1 room and there are 4 of us, you're going to be sleeping somewhere else tonight. Huh? You want me to find somewhere else to stay tonight? Gavin's been on his tablet this whole time trying to figure something out for us, but every single hotel in that area is full with no rooms available. And the room that Gavin took at the start only has 1 bed and a couch, so that's where my husband and I, plus Gavin, will be staying tonight. What's so bad about having Gavin sleep on the floor then and allowing me to have the couch? The room is only meant for 3 people max, and since I can't trust what's on hotel room floors, I will not allow anyone to sleep on them. So what you're saying is I'm being forced to sleep somewhere else? Gavin is to blame for this as well, but we're asking you to find somewhere else to sleep tonight. Understood.
Alice, now that my mom has talked with you about what's happening today, we don't expect you to have to crash out in the lobby or anything, but you're going to have to find yourself someplace else to sleep tonight.
Sure. This should mean I can go off on my own and do whatever I want for the rest of this trip without you guys then, right?
What? We're gonna meet up in the airport once we've landed and then go to the hotel like we'd planned before, right? All you'll have to do is sleep somewhere else tonight. We can make a time and place to meet tomorrow and get back to spending this vacation together, right?
Not anymore though, Gavin. Ugh, I just can't with you anymore. The fact that you just can't seem to understand what the problem is here is going to make me crazy if I keep trying to write things.
Huh?
I'm going to do things by myself when we get there. And I'll find my own way home when it's time because I do not want to take the same plane as you guys.
Hey, Alice!
I'm sure that both your mom and dad are watching this conversation unfold as well, right? Guess I won't need to explain anything to your mom now. See you after this trip is over.
Hey, wait! Hey, Alice! I just went up to your seat and you weren't even there. Did you move to another seat on the plane or something? Answer the damn phone already! You think I'm gonna just stop trying after a few rings? What the hell is going on here? I can't find you anywhere on this plane now. Why the hell are you even that mad with me to begin with? You and your selfishness is so damn childish, Alice. Fine. Go sit wherever the hell you want. I'm betting you're just hiding in the bathroom now anyway.
Gavin, I noticed you left for a little bit after we had dinner. Where are you right now?
Hi, Mom. Perfect timing, actually. There's a hot spring out behind the hotel that's owned by the resort. How about you and Dad go enter that for a little bit and relax?
Wow, I didn't know that this resort had so many amenities.
When this resort was first built, it was known as the only one on the island to have an all-natural hot spring included in it. Normally it's private and only available to guests that have reserved it weeks in advance, but after asking the front desk, they said a few spots in it just opened up.
Are you not going to come and join us?
There's actually one other reason I wanted to come out here on vacation, so I'm going there now. So while I'm gone, you and Dad can take your time relaxing, and I'll make sure to call you when I'm on my way back. By the way, the front desk is only giving you both an hour, so you'd better get down there and enjoy the hot spring while you can. You have until 10 p.m. to be in there, so go, go, go.
Oh my. I guess I'll have to grab your dad and get down there. I'll grab my towel and everything right now and go with your dad.
Have a relaxing time. Alice, thank you for waiting. I'm getting in a taxi right now and will be on my way to your hotel.
Sounds good. Good work today, by the way, Gavin. Were you able to get them off your back without any issues?
Without any trouble at all, actually. I told them to go and chill in the hot spring for a bit while I dipped, and that's exactly what they both did.
I see. So is that the thing you ordered last minute due to them having the last minute cancellation?
That was it. In other words, that was the last good thing I'm doing for my parents for the rest of my life.
That's right. About 20 minutes ago, I got a call from your older sister. She told me that things went to plan, and after meeting up with her boyfriend, she was able to move into her new condo. Now that she's moved in, they're celebrating with things like wine and pizza.
Oh, is that right?
She also gave me her new phone number because she's going to get rid of her old one after today. So once you arrive here, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that my older sister was finally able to make her way out of there. And Alice, thank you for helping us out with all of it.
Sure, I'm just happy it all went as planned.
What I'm really happy about, though, is that I no longer have to play the role as the husband who's in love with his mother and father more than his own wife. God, that was so tough for me to do. The amount of times I had to call and text you there to convince my parents that I was really upset with you.
That was quite a lot of calls, and I'm going to have to go through and delete all their notifications now.
I will never, ever do anything like that again. I promise you that.
I sure hope you don't. And man, was it tough for me then as well. I knew that your parents were watching you text and call me all the time then, so I had to make sure that all of my texts were believable. Thinking of the best way to make it look as though I didn't love you anymore was the hardest part for me, Gavin. I think that was the very first time we've ever talked to one another like that, right?
I don't think we've ever had a reason to talk to one another like that before.
That's true.
Anywho, I'll see you in a bit here.
Okay, have a safe ride over. I'll be waiting for you in front of the hotel. Gavin, I'd been wondering why you still hadn't come back to the hotel yet. So when I went up to the room to see if you were there, I realized all your things were gone. Did you go back home?
What? You realized I had left a lot sooner than I was hoping. Well, I've finished all I had to do, so that's fine, I guess.
What are you going on about, Gavin? Where are you right now?
I'm at the hotel Alice booked a room at.
Huh? Why are you with her? I thought the plan was for you to be staying with your parents at this hotel tonight without her having to be a part of it.
Are you kidding me, Mom? We planned this vacation to just be the two of us from the very beginning. So that means it's just about Alice and I, and that you and Dad will not be a part of it.
Hold on a second.
Your guys' room had to be paid in advance in order for you guys to stay there, so you don't have to worry about paying for it. But if you're going to order room service or use any of the other amenities at that hotel while you stay, you'll have to pay for all of it.
This has nothing to do with what things we had to pay for. The whole point of this vacation was to teach that smart-mouth-wielding wife of yours her place, and that's why you kicked her out of our plans. You agreed with your dad and I on that plan, right? The whole time we'd been on that plane, you made sure to show us all the things you said to her to make sure she'd learn her place. And that's why we made sure she had to sleep somewhere else tonight.
What are you talking about, Mom? Well, who cares at this point? I guess it's my turn to tell you what our original plan has always been.
Your original plan?
There are actually a couple of goals we wanted to achieve with this, but the biggest one was protecting my wife from your harassment.
Protecting her from my harassment? Are you talking about the way I've been schooling her? All your dad and I have been doing is trying to fix that woman's smart-ass attitude by treating her like the animal she is.
And what you both call her smart-ass character, I like to call her independent attitude. And hasn't it been you acting like a child this whole time, Mom? Tell her she can't be working as a wife and that she can't be making more than me as a wife, and that she has to listen to us because she's my wife, and that she has to bear you more grandchildren because she's my wife. All of those things are unwarranted and childish, Mom. Do you understand that?
Hold on. You should understand that all of those things I said are true and that she must listen to me. Isn't that why you've been working with me to school her this whole time?
I wasn't working with you to school her, Mom. I was just trying to sell the lie that I actually agreed with what you were doing. No man in their right mind would allow their own mom to actually treat their wife like that. Come on.
What?
You want to know why she's making more than me at her job right now? That's because she's worked for that company longer than I have and does a much more demanding job than I do. All of that money is a result of her hard work and serious work ethic and should not be judged by someone like you. You like to call her a smartass for not listening to you and doing her own thing. But you asking her to quit her job and to spend all of her time doing the chores and cooking and asking her to send you $2,000 a month in order for you to accept her, and you telling her to stop having daughters and start having sons for you, all of that is completely insane and something I never thought would be coming out of my own mom's mouth. Of course she was going to tell you off like that when you demand things as ridiculous as those. Also, what the hell is wrong with us having 2 daughters? It's not like anyone gets to just choose what gender their baby will be when they're made. So don't you freaking dare start blaming that on my wife when it's an impossible standard to be setting.
Wait, is that right?
This is starting to take too much time, so let's end things with that. Tomorrow, Alice and I will be going home to our new house that we picked out.
Huh? You guys moved into a new house?
In other words, we're cutting ties to you now.
Cutting ties to us?
And trying to find out where we are through Alice's family won't work. We already spoke with them a month ago about the plans we had in mind for this trip, and they promised us that they'd block you both today. We're all going to be changing our phone numbers as well when we get back home.
What did you say?
And when it comes to our daughters that we left with Alice's parents, they've been told about this and are excited to be moving into their new home. When this trip is over tomorrow, we'll be completely cutting ties to you and Dad, so there will be no chance for you. So starting tomorrow, you should stop talking to us. No, actually, after this, you can stop thinking about Alice and I being a part of your family and no longer have to text us.
Gavin!
Of course we'll stop sending you and Dad money as well.
What? You can't do that, Gavin!
Bye-bye.
Gavin, no! No! Alice, what the actual hell is going on here? Why? Are you questioning why your daughter is no longer living with you guys in your house? I'm sure after noticing all of her things were gone and her room completely clean that she was long gone, right? So you do know about what happened here. You give me the reason for this right now and tell me where the hell you and Gavin are. I'm not going to tell you where we are, but I suppose I can give you the reason behind why your daughter's left you. I don't need you to sit there babbling on. Just tell me the reason for this right now. Then let me begin. You've been exploiting your daughter for a very long time now, right? That, at least, is what she explained to me. Huh? Back when she was in high school, you forced her to work a part-time job and would take all the money she earned for yourself. And when she became an office woman, you forced her to put 80% of her earnings into your house for your husband and you to spend. The only thing I don't know about is what you and your husband ended up doing with all that money she was forced to give you. But she was never able to use any of her money for herself because for years now, that 20% you allowed her to keep from her paychecks, she's been saving for this reason. She needed the money to move out from your place, but knew that it would take a lot longer than it has to save up that kind of money. But when she found someone to support her, she finally had her chance to escape and find a new home for herself. By the way, this wasn't just what your daughter wanted. There is one other who has experienced the same hell under you and your husband. There's another person? I'm talking about Gavin. He wanted out and made that clear to me when talking with his sister's boyfriend about plans for getting her out. She has a boyfriend? I never knew that she was in a relationship. I've met with him a few times myself, actually. And as for their relationship, they've been together for 3 years now without you ever noticing. There's no way. I should have been able to notice her having feelings for another man. Well, luckily, she had the understanding and help of that man, along with Gavin and I. So when I said she had someone to help her get out of your house and not have to save any more money, I was talking about him. She's escaped and is now staying with him at his place. Also, she's gone and left the job she'd been working while staying at your house and will now be taking some time off to relax while she looks for a job that suits her more. That's at least what she told me. Huh? Now, allow me to explain what the point of the whole vacation was about. We knew that you and your husband would want to come along with us on this vacation and would do everything you could to get your son to make it happen. So Gavin purposefully brought it up with the both of you a few days ago. We knew the moment you heard about where we were going and what we'd be doing, you'd force your way in. Hold up. No way. You guys. Your daughter's boyfriend gave us this great idea to use a vacation for Gavin and I to get you and your husband out of the house in order for your daughter to safely run away without either of you noticing. That's why Gavin went ahead and had you and your husband with him while moving me to a different location. He then made it look like we were having a troubled relationship because of the choice you three made, while also working on supposedly getting the 4 of us to stay in that hotel. He already knew, though, that you wouldn't want me staying there with the 3 of you, so we made sure to book another hotel room at another hotel so he could come with me when you and your husband weren't around. What the hell? Thank you so much for taking the bait both Gavin and I had laid out for you and letting our plans go without a hitch. Huh? I just heard from Gavin that he got himself a new phone number for his phone. Wait, he got that done already? And it's my turn to get my number changed now. Wait, don't do that yet! Goodbye forever, Maeve. Wait! Everything that happened afterwards, I heard about from the rest of Gavin's family. This was my first time ever hearing this, but it appears that not only was Maeve's husband not working, but neither of them had any savings nor any social security to support them in their later years. In other words, the income that my sister-in-law had and the money Gavin was sending them was their social security. Having just lost both forms of their income and having to soon pay things like bills for the month, both Maeve and her husband went around asking the rest of the family for $2,000. Naturally, after having heard about the situation that had unfolded, every single person they asked told them no in a very disappointed tone. Soon after that all happened, the both of them were exiled by the rest of the family. Having no way of getting any money from the family now, both Maeve and her husband came to the realization that they'd have to work, or else they'd lose their home and starve. They began to search for work to support themselves with, but considering that the both of them are total assholes and old, nobody was willing to hire them in that town. Later, the situation about those two became vague, as the last thing that was seen of those two was them getting into trouble with a group of men on the street. Since then, we have no idea where they both are or what they're having to do now. When it comes to what happened with Gavin and I after that wild ride, we were able to go to our new home and be with our daughters again. And once we were settled down and had all the boxes from the move put into storage, we had both Gavin's sister and her boyfriend over. We celebrated the success of our plan to escape both of their horrible parents, and before the gathering ended, my sister-in-law announced that her and her boyfriend were not engaged and would marry next year. Let me just say, after that exciting news, our little gathering turned into a party, and we didn't end up getting any sleep that night. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Maya, my little sister is coming back home, so could you take the car to the airport and get her?
Wait, you want me to go there right now?
What, do you have a problem with that?
I was just asked by your mom to run out to the craft store to get her a very specific type of ballpoint pen.
Then, once you've brought that home for her and dropped it off, go back out and head towards the airport.
Hold on a second, Parker. Wasn't it supposed to be you who took the car out to the airport to go and get Leah? Oh, wait, you shot that talk down because you didn't want to have to drive through traffic to go and get her. And that's why I had to come all the way to your mom's place just to be told to go out and get her favorite pen, and it's not going to be for another hour until I can be back at her place.
Well, I've already had some beers to drink, so I can't go.
What, already? It's 9 a.m., Parker.
I had no choice, okay? My dad was waiting to have some beers with me, and he had them all out on the counter with snacks this morning. You thought I'd just say no to that when I'm supposed to be his golden child?
So what you're saying is that your dad has had some beers this morning as well?
Yeah. And we both know about how my mom no longer has a driver's license anymore, so the only one legally allowed to go out and get my sister's you. So hurry up with buying that pen for my mom and get to the airport and grab her. Once Leigh is home with the rest of us, the plan is for us all to have burgers out on the grill.
All right, Parker.
My mom told me she ordered some premium beef patties from Japan, and that's what we'll be barbecuing on the grill for lunch and dinner today, and I really want to eat them as soon as possible.
I get it already, Parker.
By the way, it's because you had to work all the way up until yesterday that I wasn't able to come home to my parents' house until now.
And I told you that you could have gone to your parents' place ahead of me and I would have come later. Actually, if I recall this correctly, I tell you that every single year.
And here's another thing I forgot to say. In my family, it is the wife that should be going to her in-laws first during the holidays to work on all the cooking and chores. Yet for some reason, you...
The longer you drag on this conversation with me, the longer it will take for me to go and get your sister.
Then hurry up and get your crap together.
Jesus Christ, Parker. Maya? I'm pretty sure you're still driving out here, but, well, I just got to the airport a little bit ago, and that's when I found out that my brother was having you drive all the way out here instead to pick me up. I'm sure you're driving still, but if you've already arrived, can you tell me where you are? Welcome back to the U.S., Leah. I'll be there in another 10 minutes or so. Do you want me to pull up to the north wing of that airport to pick you up? That would be the easiest location for me to get to and to leave from with this car. I can wait there. Oh, thank you so much for coming to get me.
Hey, Maya, did you head back out again?
Yes? Your mom was asking me to go out and get you guys some more AAA batteries.
Well, we've ran out of potato chips and dips, so can you please stop at the store and get us some more?
Are you guys going to be drinking some more? Parker, you've been drinking all day now, and you need to slow down. We'd only just arrived at your mom and dad's house this morning, and all you've done is sit around and drink.
Oh, what's so bad about that? We're staying at my parents' house tonight, so I don't need to go anywhere or do anything.
I understand that, but...
Just buy those dang chips and dip and come back here.
All right, chips and dip. Maya, it sounds like my mom asked you to go out and buy some more random things, and now I've overheard my brother asking you to get some things as well while you're out. You already had to take a long trip all the way to the airport to come and get me today, yet It seems you've had all sorts of other random things all day. I'm sorry, Maya. You'll never be able to relax if all they're doing is asking for you to go out and get things for them. You were already being so thoughtful by coming all the way out here. Hey, you don't have to worry about any of this. I'm totally fine here. Then what about when this happened? My mom knew that there would be 5 people at the house today who would be eating lunch, and yet she only got enough burgers and stuff for 4. So in the end, you were left with nothing to eat, and I don't think you've really had anything to eat all day, right? But you gave me half your burger, so thank you for doing that. But that had to happen because Parker and my parents seem to not care about you. I started out thinking that maybe my mom forgot about getting enough food for 5 people because she's so used to me being overseas and not at home for the holidays. But now that I've put everything that's happened to you so far today together, I can tell that they're all just harassing you. Right? If that's really what's happening here, then I'm so very sorry about my family. Do you want to go out with me and get something for dinner when you get back? Oh, that would be wonderful, Leah. Thank you. However, I've been told by your mom that as your brother's wife, I'm supposed to get used to eating things like shrimp tails and burnt ends, so that should be fine for me tonight if that's all your family has. Huh? That's what my mom told you? You should be used to eating things like shrimp tails and burnt ends? That's terrible. I don't actually eat any of those things, though, when they serve them to me. Okay, but that's still not a good thing, Maya. I've known from the very beginning that your parents and brother would never prepare anything decent for me to eat, so I make sure to always eat while I'm out of the house doing all of their needless errands. Well, as long as you're not starving all the time when you're here, that's fine. But the fact that my mom said that was what you should be used to eating? You don't have to worry about it, Leah. Here's the thing when it comes to my relationship with your family. Once I'd married Parker and made my way over to your parents' house for the first time, I was told to stay in the kitchen until the rest of the family was done eating, and that I'd be having their leftovers for dinner. That was pretty much the first thing your mom said to me when I came into the house. She really is harassing you then. She might be, but when it comes to your brother and dad, they never really say much. But they never do anything to tell your mom off either, and will just agree with her by going, every time she tells me to do something, which means they're fine with it. Are you kidding me? Seriously, my family is such a shameful mess, and that makes me feel so bad for you. You don't have to feel bad or apologize for it, though. The fact that I know you understand what's wrong with them is more than enough to help me feel like I'll be just fine. I've been overseas for 3 years now, and not even for something serious like work, but I really wish I could have been around you more so that I could hear your side of things, because all my family will ever tell me is how much of a bad wife you can be at times. Leah, by the way, I've made plans for my family to meet with my fiance for the first time ever. Oh, the man you told me about before that you met overseas? That guy? Yeah, that's him. Do you think you can come home now so that you can meet him when he comes over? Wait, you want me to meet him too? Actually, the only reason I came all the way back to the States this year is so that I can talk with you. What? I thought you came here just to be around your family again. I want you to be a part of a plan that I have, but before I actually do anything, I'd like to go out with you for a bit and chat about it. Then you can have a better understanding of me.
Yo, Leia! You and Maya left the house about an hour ago after she came. Where the hell did the both of you go and why?
Oh, hi, Parker. I was just thinking about texting you.
What do you mean you were just thinking about texting me? Mom has been whining to me about how she wants Maya to start cooking dinner soon and told me to tell you guys to come home. We're waiting.
Huh? Why don't you tell Mom to start cooking dinner herself then? And if that's too difficult for her to start cooking right now, then have her go to the supermarket and pick up some pre-made food. Why would you guys even be asking for her to do all of these chores when she only just got off work for the end of the year and is in need of a break?
What? That's her job as my wife.
Because she's your wife, she has to go through all this work?
That's right, because she's my wife.
Tell me, why do you think she has to be there to make dinner tonight? Just because she's your wife?
What? Because that's what she's been told to do as my wife.
But then, what does that make of Mom? Isn't she Dad's wife?
What?
She's the wife that Dad married and made a part of his family, right?
But right now, Mom, she's also considered the mother-in-law, right?
Well, she's the only wife in that house right now since I have Maya with me helping get some things together in order to move.
Huh? In order for who to move exactly? Who's moving?
Mom and Dad, of course.
Huh? Why would the both of them be moving?
When I came back home today with Maya from the airport, I noticed that nobody had been working on getting things ready for Mom and Dad to move. So as the only one who seemed to understand what needed to happen, I decided to take Maya with me to get things ready.
Why, yo, what the heck are you going on about right now, Leah?
What?
I have literally no freaking idea what you're talking about right now.
Wait, did you not hear anything about this then? I was told by Mom and Dad that they decided on a day to have the house demolished.
Huh? The house is being demolished then?
To make matters short, the house is going to be torn down, so Mom and Dad need to hurry up and get their things together in order to move out.
Huh?
I could have sworn you were told in the group chat that really soon here the house would be getting demolished by the city. What? Hold on for a sec. Does this mean that Mom and Dad haven't even started looking for a new place to move into yet?
I'm gonna go ask Mom and Dad right now. Oh no. I just went and asked them about it, and so far it doesn't seem like they've done anything in order to prepare for the move.
Are you serious? We'd been talking about this for weeks and months even, and they still haven't started to prepare and look for a new place? I've talked with them about this 3 times now.
They told me that this is their house, so nothing can happen to it, and there's nobody who can rightfully kick them out of their house. They kind of thought you were just joking about all of that stuff when you brought it up.
What the hell are you going on about? Aren't you all aware that 3 years ago Dad went and gave ownership of the house over to my fiance and said that he'd make the decisions? That was back when Dad's burger joint went under, and as a way of trying to not go into major debt, he sold the place to my fiance because he was willing to let Mom and Dad stay there. My fiance has been a realtor overseas and had the money to buy the place from Dad, and that's why they never went into major debt after the burger joint failed. But the plan was made a year ago to have that house, the house my fiance owns now, torn down because the area is going to be used for an apartment complex. My fiance was able to buy Mom and Dad a year, though, because he didn't want to stress either one of them with the plans he and the city had made, yet they still haven't done anything? Both my fiance and I have been telling Mom and Dad to find a new place to move into so that when the time comes, there'd be no hiccups, right? You heard about all of this, Parker, because you wanted to be in that group chat, yet you haven't actually been paying any attention to it? This is why you need to stop slamming back beers while you're with Mom and Dad and start getting ready to have them both moved out and into a new home. There's only a little while longer before the house has to go, so you get Mom and Dad together right now and start helping them get their things together. Tomorrow we're going to go through the whole house together, cleaning it all out and making sure everything is taken care of. By tomorrow night, I want Mom and Dad to have a new home picked out and be ready to go.
Yo, if we have to get all of that done by tomorrow night, then when will we sleep?
Since you 3 have procrastinated for a whole year, you won't have any time to sleep with these next 2 days now.
And as for the place they should be moving into?
Tell them to start looking for anything that can be ready for them in a few days. I don't care if it has to be an Airbnb or a rundown apartment, and if nothing is available, then you'll just have to shove them into a hotel for a while.
Then what about the moving company?
There are plenty of movers that can get to work right away if you call them 24 hours in advance. And you can have them take all of Mom and Dad's things and put them into storage for a month if need be.
But that'll cost them even more money.
Then how about you pay for all of that? I'm going to be honest right now, you are partially to blame for all of this since you decided not to heed my warnings.
Are you kidding me, Leah? Hey, Maya! You know about how I've been made to handle all the work needed to get my mom and dad moved out of this house, right? I've been wondering why this whole time you've done nothing to help us, and that's why I went and took a trip back to our house, and guess what I find? Divorce papers signed by you? What is all of this about?
Oh, so you made it back to the house?
Where the hell are you right now?
I'm out at a cheap hotel right now, staying here for a few days.
Huh? You staying at a cheap hotel now?
I planned on moving out, so I've been taking my time in order to find a place to move myself into.
You're moving out of our house now, so you actually want to go ahead and get a divorce from me now?
You already knew that when you walked in and saw the divorce papers I left for you signed, right? Come on now, man.
Why do you want a divorce, though?
You know the reason why. Because you just sat there and let your mom harass me that whole time and never once said anything about it.
That was just,
What we're going to talk about now is all the stuff that I learned about from Leah herself. Did you know that the reason Leah came back to the US in the first place was to learn about just how much your mom has been troubling me and acting like she can use me as her slave? Because that's what she's told me, and there was no other reason.
What?
She told me that things weren't as bad as she was suspecting, that she would have bought Mom and Dad another year or so before having her fiance go ahead with the house's demolishing. However, the moment she came to the airport here, she realized that I was already being forced to do literally everything during my holiday with no time to relax in sight. And when she saw that your mom didn't have enough food for me, like with those burgers, well, she was able to see just how badly things had become for me within your guys' family. At that moment, she knew that she had to do something to stop this and gave me a chance to escape. So she told her fiancé to contact the city and tell them to go ahead with the plans to have your house demolished and get your parents out.
What the hell? What the hell do you think you're doing, acting like Mom has been harassing you this whole time? I was told that was the way my mom planned on making you a good wife. Yet you and your misunderstanding has gone and left my mom and dad without a house and me without a place to go back to relax at.
I think there's a bit of a misunderstanding on your side, actually, since I wasn't the one who decided to do all of this at first. It was your sister, Leah.
Huh? She made the decision to do this?
She made the choice based off the fact that she could clearly see your mom was harassing me, and that it was her fiancé who's owned that house for the past 3 years. So she talked with him about what was going on, and their final decision was to have Mom and Dad kicked out so that the house could go ahead and be destroyed.
What?
Oh, and another thing. I'm going to assume that you took your mom and dad back home with you to the house to stay with us instead of putting them up somewhere?
Well, of course I've done that. I plan to have both my mom and dad staying in this house with us, and you won't have a say in that.
Not going to happen.
What?
I don't want to have someone that enjoys harassing other people living in the same house as me. I knew that was going to happen, though, and that's why we're getting this divorce for sure now.
Hold the hell on!
My dad was very kind by introducing me to one of his friends who is a very respected divorce lawyer.
What? You have a lawyer now?
I'm sure that you'll be getting a call or email from that lawyer very soon here, so once you've heard everything he has to say, you can talk with him about what happens next in the divorce.
Wait!
Oh, and one last thing. I happen to be the one who rents that house, and I'm having the rental agreement ended next month. So you guys will have to leave there pretty soon as well and find a brand new place to move into.
What?
Hurry up and find yourselves a new place to go so that I can tell the landlord he can go and clean the house out for his next tenants.
What the hell?
That's all I had left to say.
Hold on a dang minute, Maya.
Goodbye forever, Parker.
Maya! What are you doing?
And just like my sister-in-law had been saying, she worked with her fiancé to have my in-laws' house demolished like she'd been warning them to prepare for. Leah had also told her family her fiancé's number in case they ever wanted to talk with him about any of the plans he had for the house, back when he had bought the place from her dad. But they never ended up asking or saying anything to him. After being moved into Parker's in my place, Parker soon learned that I was not joking about having a lawyer. And after some long talks about all of the things I had to endure with his mom and him, he was told he'd owe me a settlement. Not too long after Parker was informed about that, I received the settlement money, and the divorce was able to be finalized. Unbeknownst to them, I had both audio recordings and video of Parker's mom harassing me, and of both Parker and his dad never stepping in to control it. So of course there was no chance at all for Parker and his family to fight me in court. So within a month, the divorce was over with and I was a free woman again. After being forced out of the apartment by the landlord a week later, they had to move into a dirt-cheap apartment that was close to 100 years old and had not seen any maintenance for the past 50 years. And just a few years ago, something bad happened there that appeared on the news. Those three got into a massive fight within that apartment and ended up causing so much damage to it and making so much noise that the police were called and arrested them. When I saw that news, I got one message from Parker, and all it read was, "Help." When that happened, I didn't even bother to actually open the message and just blocked him and his family's numbers before changing my number as well. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Allie, are you still not back home yet? I just got here and you're nowhere to be found.
Hello, Charlie. I'm still coming back home from work like always, and I'm making my stop at the supermarket, like always. Actually, it seems you're home a lot sooner than normal. What happened that allowed you to be home around 5?
I can come home anytime I want to.
Yes, that is absolutely correct, and that means the same applies to me. I'm doing what I'm always doing at this time of day and haven't done anything that should be making you upset with me.
What? I see. Then you hurry up with the groceries and get home to make me dinner. I'm starving right now and don't want to wait any longer.
Okay.
And the bath isn't even ready for me. How come the bath isn't ready for me?
When I get home from work, I usually take care of things like that, the way I've always been doing it. I normally get home a bit after 5, and you normally get home around 7.
And normally you should have all this stuff handled for me before I get home, like a good wife would do.
And since you've gotten home earlier than normal, that won't be possible. I also happen to have a job, and that means that any time before 5 p.m. won't work because I'm at work.
Jesus, I say one thing and you have some kind of comeback. I say another thing and then it's a different comeback. That right there is why both myself and Kylie hate you.
Now that you mention her, is Kylie back from college yet?
Huh? Her shoes were at the front of the house when I got back home, so I'm sure she's up in her room now.
I see. Well, thanks for telling me. Now I'm getting back to my shopping so that I can be home as soon as possible. Hey, Dad. Isn't it getting to be that time where we don't need that old woman here anymore?
What do you want now, Kylie?
It's been a year now since Grandma passed away, which means that in the next couple of months, I'm going to be heading to work for the first time ever. And, well, the company that I'm planning on working for is a ways away, so I was thinking of moving to a place closer to the office to live on my own.
Oh?
In other words, if you get rid of the old woman, then you can get married to that hot girlfriend of yours and have a wonderful later half of your life with her, right?
What? Hold on, you know about my girlfriend?
From time to time, I see her with you, so... And of course, as your daughter, I'm rooting for you to be with the woman you love most.
I see. Thank you so much, Kylie.
Old woman, you understand that today is the day I'm moving out and into my own apartment to start my new life alone, right? Good morning, Kylie. Of course I know about that. Is there anything you'd like me to help you out with right now? Are you kidding me? I don't want your filthy hands touching any of my things, so stay away from the house today. What? I don't want any of your help, and I hate the idea of you being around me while I leave, so stay out. Don't come home until later tonight. Is that right? It seems we've really raised one of the most helpless kids ever in this house. Huh? Perhaps this is what happens when we let you hang out with your abusive grandma all the time, who just had a blast making me feel unwanted. What the heck are you talking about? None of that makes any sense. I didn't expect you to understand what I was talking about there, so don't even worry about it. Since I can be out of the house all day today, I'll go and handle some of the things I've been needing to get to now. Then hurry up and get out of this house so I can get ready. Go away!
Hey, Allie, you understand that today is the day Kylie moves out of this house, right?
I know. I could tell from all the commotion I heard in her bedroom earlier this morning.
And as her mother, you didn't even bother to help her out with any of her packing? Instead, heading out the front door to leave her home all alone?
She told me herself that she didn't need my help and she didn't want me home to watch her leave the house, so she said I needed to stay out until later tonight. And that is why I left the house just then. Next time, please talk with her first before coming to me with your complaints.
So that's what happened there.
I was told this first thing in the morning, so I wasn't able to prepare any meals for you guys today.
Well, today's a special day anyway. I'll forgive you for not doing anything.
Is that so? Well, thank you so much for your forgiveness. Now, I have some errands that I'd like to finish up today myself, so I won't be able to talk until later tonight.
Is that right? Well, go ahead and do whatever you want.
I will. I'll make sure to do everything I want. Charlie, I'm almost home from my day out. And, well, I just walked by the trash down the road, and for some reason, a lot of my things were in it. Do you mind telling me why a lot of my things were just in that trash pile all the way down here by the dumpster? I noticed some larger things of mine were also in that pile, like my dresser and my nightstand. Tomorrow is not a day where they come around to collect larger trash items, you know.
You don't have to come back to this house anymore.
What?
What I'm saying is, I can't believe you hung around Kylie and me for the past 20 years, when we both have hated your guts since the very start.
Ugh. I believe the reason that Kylie has always had a lot against me is because of the way you and your mother behaved towards me. Since you always had her going over to your parents' house, she was being raised by your harassing mother and was taught to treat me like the housemaid. She got to sit there and watch front seats as you and your mother would always trash talk about me while forcing me to do all the chores while working a full-time job, so of course she began to hate me the same way. I guess there was no helping this outcome, though, because I never did anything to stop it.
Stop running your annoying little mouth already. Kylie's gotten herself a job now and won't be around anymore, which means I have no use for a housemaid like you anymore. Get out of my life.
Understood, Charlie. I will gladly get out of your life.
I want you and the rest of your things out of here in 1 hour.
Oh, you don't have to give me an hour, Charlie. Most of my things have already been moved out of that house, so I don't need to really grab anything from there.
Huh?
To make this understandable for someone who lacks any wits like you, no, I'm not talking about how all of my things are in the trash now. I planned on moving, so I had made sure to send all the things I wanted to keep to my new place in advance, and left all the things I didn't care for in that house. I was doing that today while you were at work and Kylie was getting her things ready to go. Originally, I had planned to go back to that house to gather all the things I didn't need and take them to this dumpster. But you've already handled that for me and are even telling me to stay away now. So I'll stay away from there and start going to my new place of residence.
Yo, what the hell are you going on about?
I'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to come out here and collect all those larger items like my dresser that cannot be thrown out tonight.
I'm asking you what the hell you're going on about. I get that I'm telling you to get out of my house right now, but what you're making things sound like is you've planned on leaving this house before I told you to.
Yes, that's because I've been planning to.
Huh?
Could you be surprised because you forgot something very important? About a year ago, after we had your mother's funeral and were on our way home from there, weren't you the one asking me to divorce you and saying that things between us had gone cold?
What?
But at the time, Kylie was still in college and hadn't found a company that wanted to hire her yet. We didn't want to cause any stress for her then by getting a divorce and having me move out of the house, so I recommend we just hold off on the divorce until after she graduated from school, right? And after listening to my suggestion, you agreed with me. Therefore, the plan was after Kylie graduated and was on her way to her first company job, I'd prepare for the divorce and leave the house.
Now that you mention it, that's right.
As for things like splitting the property and such in the divorce, I've made sure to get myself a lawyer to help us out.
What? You went and got yourself a lawyer already?
That's right. We've been married for 20 years now, right? Neither of us know about all the properties that we've shared for those past 20 years, and so I wanted a professional to help us out with all of that so that the transition was smooth and safe. I was recommended to do this by a friend of mine who also works in law, so we should trust doing what she's recommended to me.
This all sounds like a pain in the butt, but you've already asked for their help, right? The lawyers?
Yes, I have. I thought that since this would be a pain in the butt for the both of us, the best choice would be to get a lawyer.
I guess there's nothing I can do about that now. All right then, Allie. Hey, Allie! What the hell is this settlement about? You told me you only got that lawyer to help with our properties, right? Why am I being asked to pay you a settlement now?
And if you had taken a look at the papers and at all the evidence that's attached to them, you would understand why and not have to yell at me.
What evidence?
There's a document stating the procedures that were taken to prove that you've been cheating on me with another woman. And along with that document are some pieces of evidence proving what happened. I believe some pictures and a USB with audio recordings.
What the hell? You were having someone investigate me?
I sure was. And thanks to having our divorce wait for 1 year, I had enough time to get people together to go and get all that evidence for me and prepare the legal case that will get me that settlement.
What did you say?
So, now that you're aware of what needs to happen next, you can get in touch with my lawyer again and have those talks. Also, we've been renting that house for the last 20 years now, which means by the end of next month, you need to be out of there so that the landlord can have it back and prepare for his next tenants.
Huh?
I can see that you haven't been preparing for anything and that this is all a major shock to you right now, but I'd put those emotions on hold so that you can get to work moving out of that house.
Wait! Why did you wait to tell me all of these really important things until right now?
What? I thought we talked about all of this a year ago after we had that talk about getting a divorce.
That's not what I'm talking about. Why have I not been told about this house when I've been the breadwinner here?
Excuse me? I thought that I had always been the one making the most money and handling all the payments.
Huh?
5 years ago, when your father first passed away, there was a lot of paperwork that had to be done for the place, like who would be in charge of the house and be considered the next tenant in it. Your mom, of course, didn't have any way of paying rent on the place since she'd never worked a day in her life. And you always complained about how you didn't want to do paperwork, and so you had me handle it all. You didn't even join me to co-sign the papers or anything, leaving me with one choice, and that was to become the sole renter of that house. Of course, I've been bringing in the most money as well, so it kind of made sense that I pay the rent. But that is what happened. So for the past 5 years now, I've been paying most of the rent on that house, as well as for utilities and such.
What?
Are you saying this whole time you never noticed anything about that?
Now that you've explained it all to me, I guess I've never seen any money being taken out of my accounts for rent.
Then there you go, Charlie. I've left that house and ended my rental agreement for the place, and the landlord isn't looking to make you the next renter. So it would be best that you move out of there as soon as possible so that the landlord has time to deep clean and everything else. Hold on, old woman. I just got off the phone with Dad. Hi. I had told him earlier today that he would have to pay a settlement to me for having been cheating, and that would have to come with the divorce. I don't mind that you guys got a divorce, but now he's having to lose his house? Is that something a mom like you should be allowing to happen? I don't have any children, though. Huh? So you're telling me that with the divorce you're also cutting ties to your one and only daughter? And as things have always been, from the very start, I've not been your real mother. What? What are you talking about? I thought you'd been told this long ago, and even if you don't remember that, you should have noticed by now. What? What do you mean by that? I would love for you to go and ask about all of this from your father, but your real mother, the one who birthed you, died when you were only 3 months old due to a severe illness. And then, 2 months after that happened, your father ended up marrying me since I had worked for him as his housemaid before. That happened only 2 months after my actual mom's death? Everyone knew that I was raised a foster child and had never been adopted by anyone, so I had no family. And when I was old enough to start working, I went into being a housemaid for the wealthy and was doing that for years and years. At one point, I even worked for your parents and was your mother's favorite maid up until she passed away. Your father was going to force me to leave, but knowing that I didn't have anywhere to go after that, he made a proposal, and that was to become his new wife. I had no other choice but to listen to him. He told me that as long as I became his wife, I could live in his house and not have to pay a dime to do so as long as I continued to do the chores. Are you kidding me? Wait, then does that mean there was real meaning behind why I'd been calling you old woman the whole time instead of mom? That's right. Your father and your grandparents knew that I wasn't your real mother and didn't want you referring to me as such, hence why they raised you to call me such a terrible thing. From the very start, I didn't want you to be raised in such a way that would turn you into not only a selfish little child, but a rude one as well. No way! If you don't believe what I'm telling you, just have a look at your birth certificate and you'll see what I'm talking about. My birth certificate? Well, your father and I have been divorced now, and in a few days here I'll be changing my phone number. So I think that after today, you and I won't be talking to one another ever again. Where will you be going then? I've been working for a newspaper company out in the next city over, so I've chosen to get an apartment close to there, where I've already moved into, actually. A newspaper company? They're located in a part of town from one of my favorite books, but of course you'd never be able to guess what book that is. I was always reading it, but you never cared enough about me to know what I read. Of course not. Have a good one now, Kylie. Okay. Dad, there's been a lot of very hard to understand things going on. Honestly, what the hell happened?
What?
I don't even know how to feel about all of this, and I don't know how to feel about you or Grandma. For some reason, it's like I don't even know any of you anymore.
Kylie?
Well, now that I think about it, I haven't told you where I've moved to yet, have I? I think this is where I call it quits with you, Dad.
Wait, what?
Bye-bye.
Kylie!
After having heard the story that I gave her and thinking about how she never really had a mother figure growing up besides her grandma, Kylie started to lose it and began to think she'd never even want to get married because it's too difficult for her to understand emotionally. She also chose to cut her father out of her life so that she could get a feeling of starting fresh with no family just like I had growing up. Kylie ended up joining a company one of my old friends has become a part of, so for a bit I was hearing about how things were going there for Kylie. Because my friend noticed she had the same rare last name I had before the divorce. From what I'd been told, Kylie became this really gloomy girl in the workplace who never wanted to talk with anyone about anything and has often gone home early due to not feeling well. My old friend told me that she can keep me in the loop on what all happens later on with Kylie, but I told him that she's not my daughter. Since she never treated me like her mother, I don't have any attachment to her. Now, when it comes to what happened with Charlie, there's a lot. I heard all of this from a friend around that house I was living in with him, and she told me the woman he had cheated on me with ran from him after the settlement, and because of that, he became sort of a hermit. He began to lose control of everything going on around him, or rather it seemed like he was just stuck in this trance after having lost everything, and only snapped back to reality a day before he had to be out of that house. So in a panic, he decided to go and move into one of the company's apartment complexes in order to avoid becoming homeless. He grabbed everything that he could carry on him and in his car and left the place, leaving more than half of his things there, which would later be tossed by the landlord. That apartment complex he moved into was primarily for younger employees of the company who had just been hired and moved into the area. So a lot of rumors started to spread about why an old man like him was there. And after a few months of being picked on by all of them and being reminded of the joke he was for letting his wife and daughter get away, he quit his job. Right now, he's out on the streets looking for any kind of work possible, while crying about the family he once had and would never be able to obtain again. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
I just got done listening to my parents about their plans for the end of the year and everything.
Hey, Zach.
It sounds like the both of them will be going away to a ski resort for a bit, so they've asked if we can change our plans to match theirs.
Oh, is that so?
They seem to have forgotten about all of the things we talked about before with them.
Wow. Well, if that's the case, I had planned on going back to my family's house for a bit, but now I guess that I can just stay here at home. Or we can go with them. Do you think one of those two options is a good choice?
Well, if that's what you'd want to do, I think it's better to leave things to me.
What?
While I was on the phone with my parents a second ago, my little sister Sammy came inside, and I was able to hear from her for a little bit. She was going on about how her and her husband would be going to Hawaii for the end of the year and stuff like that.
Wait, they're going to Hawaii?
They got married instantly and never had a chance to have a wedding put together, so they thought that now would be the best time to celebrate a sort of honeymoon.
Hold on a sec. Sammy only just had her baby 3 months ago, and they're already wanting to go to Hawaii?
I can see why you'd be a bit worried about what'll happen with their baby.
Well, of course. I mean, she just had that baby a few months ago, and things were finally getting to the stage where they'd have to be with the baby a lot as it starts to grow. So what do they think they're doing now, going all the way out to Hawaii?
You don't have to worry about that. I made a deal with them that we'd take their baby while the two of them go enjoy Hawaii. So, have fun with the baby.
Huh? What did you mean by that last part?
You're looking after our niece while her parents are away. That's why I said that in a please and thank you sort of way.
Huh?
And the baby'll be coming to our place tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
My sister's husband gets a very long vacation during the holidays every year, which means that they will be in Hawaii for some time. So they want to be out of here tomorrow, the first day he has off from work.
Wait. I get that she's our niece, but she's a newborn, and as someone who has never taken care of a baby before, I have no idea of what to do. Why would you even make a deal like that without asking me first?
What? What's gotten into you, Everly? Don't you really love kids?
Yeah, I freaking love kids, but being around them for fun and having to actually take care of them as a parent are completely different things.
But it'll be good practice for you, right?
Stop saying crap like that, please. That is not the way to be looking at something like that. I get that it might be good practice for some people, but I'm not even going to get the chance to prepare for what is quite literally a newborn baby that I've never even met before. And even before this started, you knew about how I'd be going back to my parents' house for the first time in 2 years to finally spend some time with them.
But I already made this deal with them.
You should have known the moment they asked that you had to say no, Zach.
But come on.
No, none of those buts from you. What I'm saying to you is that it's going to be impossible for me to take care of a 3-month-old baby when I have no time to prepare for her.
But the thing is, I have work to go to still, and since I've already gone and made this deal, the only one who can watch the baby is you, Everly.
I also have work to go to. Every dang year, I have to work until the 29th and only have 1 day off for Christmas before getting 3 off for the new year.
What?
I still have plenty of days before I get time off.
Crap. I never really put any thought into your schedule.
Yeah, no duh. This is literally the busiest time of the year at this company, so I can't get a single day off besides the holidays. So since you were the one that made that deal with your sister, you're going to figure something out. Please.
What? Are you sure you can't do something to help me out here?
No!
But...
Don't even bother me anymore. I'm done talking with you for today.
Come on now, Everly.
Addie, do you mind if I talk with you a sec? I have something very serious and urgent to talk to you about. Hello, Everly. What's going on that's so important? It seems that starting tomorrow, my sister-in-law is heading away with her husband for the holidays and leaving their daughter with us. Huh? When you say your sister-in-law, you're talking about Sammy, right? And didn't she just have her first baby 3 months ago? Wait, what you're saying is that she's leaving you and Zach with their 3-month-old newborn baby? Yeah, my husband was an idiot and made a deal with them without even talking to me first. And Sammy's going with her husband to Hawaii for a little while, and this will all be happening tomorrow. Huh? Then, right after telling me that, my husband started to go on about how he'd still have to work and told me that I'd have to take care of our newborn niece alone. Even though he knows about the fact that I have to work up until the 29th and can't take any days off. How dare he make me take care of a newborn baby that I've never had any experience with after making a deal like that? I told him already that it wasn't happening, but he seemed so out of it that I'm not sure if he understood what I meant. Everly, have you made it home from work yet? No, I've stopped at a cafe for a bit to think. Everly, I think starting today, it's better that you don't go home. What? Based on what you've already told me, it doesn't seem like Zach is going to take no for an answer from you. You understand? You don't think so? I have this gut feeling that there is something more going on behind the scenes, and that those three will do everything to make sure you're stuck with the baby. Like bringing her over tonight and leaving you in charge? What? Hasn't Sammy always been the kind of girl where if things don't go exactly the way she planned them, she throws a fit and starts to ruin everyone else's time? I don't want to think she'd act as childishly when it comes to her own daughter, but based off her track record, I just have this really bad feeling that she's going to force you, one way or another, to take care of her kid while she runs off to Hawaii with her husband. That makes sense, actually. Then, how about you head over to my house? Is that all right with you? I think that even for a little bit, you should come here and wait to see what happens. Anyway, can you start heading over here after you're done at the cafe? If Zach starts to ask where you're at, tell him you went to your older sister's house to talk about some things regarding the end of the year and such. Sounds good. I'm going to start heading to your place right now.
Everly? Hey, where the heck are you right now?
I've gone over to my older sister's place that she moved into not too long ago.
What?
And I was just about to start texting you when you began to call me.
Why did you go to your older sister's place?
I wanted to talk with her about the plans we both had to head back to my parents' house at the end of the year. I wanted to see if it'd be all right if I rode with her down to my parents' place. She then asked me to come on over so that we could talk more about it and some other things relating to the holidays.
So does that mean you're going back to your parents' place then?
I am.
That's not good for me.
What are you talking about? I told you about these plans a long time ago. Back in October, I think.
I know, but if you leave, then what am I going to do? You know, with this?
With what? What is this that you're talking about?
Oh,
Hey, Zach, I know I shouldn't be asking this, but did Sammy come over to the house one day early, forcing her baby onto you so that they could leave bright and early tomorrow?
Actually...
I knew that was going to be the case.
Well, if you knew, then why didn't you come home right away? Come on now, and tell your family you're not going back to their house now.
Well, good luck taking care of a 3-month-old on your own.
Huh?
I told you that I wasn't taking care of that baby, right? I have had plans for 3 months now to go back to my parents' house for the end of the year.
But don't you still have work you need to take care of?
I just called with my boss a little bit ago, and he said it would be totally fine for me to work remotely for the last few days of this year, so I could go home to see my parents. I just have to go in tomorrow and get my laptop from my desk, and I'll be good.
So you're gonna make me take care of this newborn all on my own now? It's times like these right here where you should be at home with your husband helping out with the family.
All I noticed was you thinking you could get away with shoving your niece onto me after not even talking with me about this first.
What?
I have never, ever, not once in my life, taken care of a newborn baby, Zach. I'm sure for some gosh dang reason, you were thinking that because someday we'd be having a kid or two, that forcing me to take care of your sister's baby would be a good learning experience for me. But here's the thing. What if me, being someone who has never ever dealt with babies before in my life, were to end up having an emergency with the baby? What would happen then? That would not be good for me, right? Are you telling me you thought it would be a good thing, a safe thing, leaving someone with no parenting experience at all to take care of a newborn baby over any of the countless other options your sister had? I think you going and making that deal with your sister goes to show that you don't care about the baby.
But hold on, if we didn't take the baby, then my sister's trip to Hawaii...
Who the hell cares about her vacation? After all the things your annoying little sister has done to us, you damn well should have known that by taking her baby this time, she'd begin to think it's okay to depend on us all the time. I knew the moment you brought that deal you made up that things would start to go downhill, and that's why I'm heading home to my parents' house early now. I told you no. So no matter what you have to say to me, it's no. Addie, sorry for wanting to talk while you're out. I just got some scary news from one of the neighbors back near my house. Huh? What happened? What news did they give you? That bastard Zach, he brought another woman home with him to stay the night at our house. Huh? I'm going to assume that he's making her take care of our niece now as well. And from what my neighbor overheard, he was saying things about how I left him to hide at my parents' house and that he was forced to be all alone with his sister's baby. I spoke with my neighbor before about how Zach was trying to leave me with our niece so that his sister could go to Hawaii with her husband. So you're telling me Zach is desperate to find a way out of his own responsibility? Yeah, and I made sure my neighbor sent me some photos as proof for all that's going on there. I think the girl he brought home with him is one of his coworkers. And since this happens to be a 3-month-old newborn we're talking about here, he had to find someone who's had that same experience from his work, right? There are plenty of people who work with Zach that have already had kids before and know how to deal with them. So it would be really hard for me to pinpoint who exactly this woman is that he's been working with. I'm sure. Sammy and her husband will be getting back home on the 7th, right? Yeah, that's the plan that I heard. Well, this is a little... I think before her and her husband get home, we're going to have to collect more evidence of what's going on with Zach at your house. Hey, Zach. I know I'm really late with this, but Happy New Year. Ever since you started to take care of our niece, we haven't really communicated much, but how have things been going with her?
What the hell? So now, of all times, you're finally going to start talking to me again?
I felt that it should have been you who texted me first, considering the situation you put yourself in, and that's why I never sent you anything. But today is the day Sammy and her husband come home from Hawaii, so I thought it would be time for me to contact you again.
Yeah, sure. Well, if you're just wanting to know about the baby, I've been having to take care of her this whole entire time.
Are you sure?
To be honest, it was a lot more easy than I thought.
So you've been at home all by yourself taking care of our 3-month-old niece?
I mean, look, there wasn't anyone else I could have counted on to take care of her with me, so what do you think?
I kind of assumed that your mom and dad would have canceled their trip to that ski resort in order to come and help you out a bit. But after talking with them, they didn't even know that Sammy and her husband were going to Hawaii for the holidays.
That's what it sounds like. Sammy said that she didn't want to worry either of them, so she wanted to keep her trip a secret from them and leave.
Interesting that she didn't want to worry her parents any with her trip to Hawaii, yet was totally okay with leaving her newborn in the hands of people who have had zero experience with kids.
But this whole time I've taken care of the baby with no problem at all. In other words, this means that you have become too prudent.
Oh? Then could you tell me who this female is in all these photos I'm holding on to right now?
Female in those photos?
Yep, I have photos of her going into our house and also leaving our house. I've had someone I stayed in touch with this whole time feeding me info about what's been going on there and gathering evidence for me. This female, is she not the same woman you've been working with for a while now? Andrea?
What?
She's that same woman that would bring you home sometimes from those dinners you'd have for work where you'd get too drunk to drive, right? I kind of remembered her from somewhere. So perhaps whenever she'd come to the door with you wrapped in her arms as she carried your drunk ass inside, she was saying that she could become your wife for any reason?
What? No, wait. Andrea is... She knew about how I was having to take care of our newborn niece all alone, so she was just coming over for a little bit to give me a hand was all, okay?
When you say for a little bit, do you mean that she's been at the house for the past 10 days straight, staying the night with you while also having to take care of the baby girl? From what I've heard about Andrea, she ended up losing her husband in a divorce because she's been cheating on him, and in that divorce she lost custody of her kids, right? I suppose since she actually has the experience with young babies, she's a better option than someone with no experience whatsoever. But bringing in the woman that you've been cheating on me with to take care of your sister's baby?
No, wait, Andrea is not that kind of woman to me.
Listen here, Zach. I've already figured everything out with the help of some professional people.
What?
And in order to catch you cheating on me today, I have everyone outside the door of our house waiting for you. Right now.
Everyone?
Both of your parents, as well as both of my parents, my older sister, and Andrea's parents as well.
What?
I can tell that the both of you put the baby to bed and are now using this moment to sleep in our bedroom together while you have downtime, right?
Huh?
I have an app on my phone where I can watch the camera in our house.
A camera?
I actually came home after learning you were cheating on me while you were at work and Andrea took the baby on a walk. And during that little bit of time, I placed a camera in our room to watch and see what all happened. And sure enough, I've seen more than I wished to see of Andrea in our bed.
What?
Now, we're all going to be coming inside.
No! Please!
And with that, on the day my sister-in-law and her husband were coming home from Hawaii, the rest of the family and I raided my house to find my husband with another woman. When Sammy and her husband did show up, they were both furious to learn that Zach was using his secret woman to care for their daughter and was sleeping with her in our house. But Sammy and her husband weren't safe from the wrath of their parents, as both my mother-in-law and father-in-law took Zach, Sammy, and her husband with them back to their house. There they got the whooping of a lifetime before their dad told them that they were never going to be a part of his family again. As of right now, my in-laws have decided to take my niece from Sammy and care for her while everyone else figures out their problems. And as for myself, I made sure to divorce Zach on that day. And of course, I made sure to get a settlement from both him and Andrea for having cheated on me. Because of that, not only did the both of them go into some serious debt, but the news got around their office and both of them were forced to leave their jobs. Word of both Sammy and her husband being bad parents also circled around town and into their workplaces, and they too ended up leaving their jobs. Now, 4 new people have joined the ranks of poverty and are having to worry about basic needs like food and water instead of their baby or their niece. I've heard news that a little while after all of that went down, Zach and Andrea ended up getting married to try and make it easier for themselves to pay off their debt. But only a week after they got married, there was an accident and Andrea became pregnant with Zach's first child. I'm not sure how quickly they can both find new jobs and pay off their debts, but they'd better do all that soon before that baby comes into their lives. And as for Sammy and her husband, well, there hasn't been all that much news about them since they got disowned from both their families, and I think they ran off to go hide somewhere else. And of course, you might be asking what happened with me. I moved out of my ex's house the day after our divorce and to my sister's place where I could stay with her for a bit. Since she herself is single, we've come up with a plan to stay that way for the rest of our lives, since I've already had a taste of the married life and my sister was never interested in the first place. I am a little bummed that I never got to have a kid of my own with anyone, but I'm still young, so who knows what about my thoughts will change and what kind of men I could run into next. The only thing I'm going to say, though, is that if the time does come that I really want to try again, that man better listen to me and listen well. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. often. In fact, he's even come to my parents' house to visit my baby and me. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey, babe, I'm gonna go out drinking with my coworkers tonight, so don't wait up for me.
What? Why?
What do you mean, why? They invited me out to drink, so I'm gonna go drink. Simple as that.
That's not what I'm talking about. We had an agreement. We were going to sit down tonight to talk face to face about our plans for the future, Roy.
Did you not hear me? I said they invited me. Do you expect me to turn them down?
Yes.
Tell me, Michelle, who's the one providing you with the lifestyle you have right now?
What? I have no idea what you mean.
Okay, you're having trouble, so let me ask you another way. Whose name is on the lease for the lovely apartment you're living in?
Yours? But what's your point? We split both the rent and living expenses 50-50.
But it's my apartment. I am the one, out of the kindness of my heart, allowing you to live here.
Allowing is an odd way to speak to your live-in girlfriend.
Think about your position. Your parents are both dead. You have no siblings. In other words, if I ever got tired of having you around, you'd have nowhere else to go. You might want to think about that a bit before you start giving me any crap about anything.
What are you trying to say, Roy?
Oh, come on, Michelle. You're not that dumb. You know fully well exactly what I'm saying to you.
All right, then. I guess I'll go ahead and ask what I was going to ask you to your face tonight, right now.
What do you want?
We've been seeing each other for 10 years now, Roy. When are you going to start thinking about marriage?
Huh?
Plus, we've been living together for 3 of those years. I mean, you and I are both turning 30 next year.
Wait, do you want to marry me?
Again, we've been dating for 10 whole years. Our relationship is pretty stable and we've managed to come this far, just kind of like going with the flow or something. But I think I've waited long enough. I want to hear it directly from you. What do you want from our relationship?
What are you getting so anxious about? I don't see any reason to rush into anything.
You might feel that way, but I don't. It's clear that we have very different views on marriage and family, and I think we should sit down and flesh those differences out face to face.
Yeah, how about in 10 years after I've had my fun?
Roy?
Hey, it's not like I don't want to get married or anything. It's just that, there's a lot of stuff that a guy can only do when he's single. And it's the same in the reverse. There's some stuff that you can only do once you're married. Once we're married, then I'll start thinking about having kids, raising kids, planning for the future, all that stuff. I can't get married yet. There's still so much single guy stuff that I want to do. If I got married now, it would ruin my whole life.
Okay, and you say you need 10 years to do all that single guy stuff?
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you understand, babe.
Right. You'll want to get married 10 years from now. Got it.
I'm glad you came to see my way of thinking, Michelle. I'm glad we took the time to sort things out. This really was a great idea. And trust me, I totally get your position. I'm the only one you have. It makes sense you'd want to know how long you have to wait for me. So you just be a good little girl and hang in there. I'll let you know once I'm ready to settle down.
I'm not finished, Roy.
You're not?
When I said got it, I didn't mean, okay, we'll do it your way. I only meant that I understood your position. If I wait 10 years for you, I'm going to be 40 years old.
Yeah, so what?
I want to have a family, Roy.
Okay, so you want kids? I still don't see what your point is. If you want kids, you can have them when you're 40.
Sure, it's possible to have kids at that age, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Well, whatever it is that you're trying to say, it doesn't change the fact that I'm not getting married yet. I've made my decision. I need 10 more years to enjoy life before I lock myself down, and that's final.
So there's no changing your mind then?
Nope. You should be thanking me that I'm only making you wait 10 years. Keep giving me crap and I might make it 20.
I've got an idea. How about you just enjoy your life until the very end?
Huh?
I can't wait that long.
Michelle?
You've made your position clear. You don't see any value at all in marriage and family, but I'm not like you. And if this is how you're going to react to me pouring out my soul to you by completely shutting me out, then I'm not going to wait one more second for you. I'm leaving today.
Whoa, settle down, girl. Is it that time of the month or something?
Goodbye.
Goodbye? As if you had anywhere to go. Whatever, I'll give you some time to cool off. I'm a patient guy, unlike some people I know, so I'll be waiting for when you come running back to me.
Hey there, Morgan. I hate to drop this on you so suddenly, but would it be okay for me to stay the night at your place? I've got quite a bit of luggage with me, so I'm gonna head over there in my car, if that's okay. Uh-oh, Michelle, what's going on? You're more than welcome to spend the night, and I have one extra parking space that you can use. Are you okay, though? I just broke up with Roy. You what? What on earth happened between you two? I'll give you the details later, but here's the rundown. We've been dating for 10 years, living together for 3, and we'll be turning 30 soon. I've tried to talk to him about marriage in the past, but he just kept putting it off and putting it off. I've been wondering how long is he going to keep me waiting? I know, you've talked to me about that before. And I mean, he's had more than enough opportunities before now. You're 100% right. So I told him outright that I wanted him to come home as soon as possible tonight so we can finally have the talk. But then he blew me off to go drinking with his coworkers. Oh no. He does this all the time. So I went ahead and popped the big question to him via text, and when he gave me his answer, well, I made up my mind. To be honest, I had a feeling this is how it was going to turn out, so I've been packing up my stuff little by little for a while. I told him I was leaving, put my boxes in the car, and, well, that was that. You poor thing. Oh, come on over to my place, Michelle. You need a place to relax. I'll talk to my husband about it. You can go ahead and stay here as long as it takes to find yourself a new place. Oh, and if you need some help looking, one of my friends works at a real estate firm, one of the biggest in town. Thanks, Morgan. You're a really great friend.
Yo, Michelle, what gives? It's been 3 years now. Don't you think this has gone on long enough? Were you waiting for me to reach out to you first before you'd come back? Well, congratulations, here I am. You win. So get over whatever weird thing you're going through and get back over here. Seriously, though, where you been staying all this time? Yeah, we could talk about all that later. I know it'll take some time to pack up your stuff, so I'll give you a month to get ready. And if you get here fast enough, I might just even marry you as a reward. But that's a limited time offer. You better act fast. God, you are one stubborn woman. Fine, I'll compromise for you again. You don't need to move over here. I'll move in with you. Don't worry about telling me your address, by the way. I already know. I just so happened to run into a friend of yours at the bar the other day. You're in that new place over on West Blanchfield Street, right? I gotta hand it to you, you have great taste. Everyone I know has been trying to get a place there since they first put it up. And when we got to talking, they said you bought a condo because you were planning on getting married soon. Man, you must really miss me. You went out and bought a condo for me without even talking to me first. God, women are so effing confusing. First you're all like, oh, I'm angry, I'm leaving. And then you're all like, I love you, Roy, please take me back. Make up your mind, would you? I'll get my stuff over there tonight. Make sure my room is clean, okay? Ah, right, we're gonna get married, so I should say make sure our room is clean, right? Anyway, see you later, babe. Yo, Michelle! Your knight in shining armor has arrived. By the way, what's our room number? I gotta input the room number on this crazy security panel thingy here. Man, this place is super high tech, huh?
Hello, Roy. It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
Huh? Who are you?
I'm Morgan. I'm a friend of your ex-girlfriend, Michelle.
Oh, it's you. Man, that takes me back ages. I ain't seen you in forever. Actually, come to think of it, I think I've only seen you once, right? You stopped by the house one day before heading downtown with Michelle, and then I've never seen you since.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, and just a slight correction. Michelle isn't my ex-girlfriend. She's my fiance. Ha! Who am I kidding? At this point, you can just go ahead and call her my wife.
You're standing in the security station in front of her building, aren't you?
Ding, ding, ding! We have a winner! We're gonna live here together from now on, so you can feel free to stop by and hang out anytime you want.
Leave. Immediately.
Huh?
You've been trying to get back together with Michelle lately, haven't you? But good grief, I never expected you to try and force your way into her house.
Her house? Are you not paying attention to something? We're getting married, so it's our house.
Michelle got married to my brother, you moron.
What?
Do you have any idea what you've been doing to her the last month? She's been talking to me about how her ex-boyfriend is sending her creepy, delusional texts. She has more than enough on her mind already with being pregnant and everything.
Whoa, being what?
She doesn't need you adding any more stress into her life, so I'm here giving you a message for her so she doesn't have to deal with you.
Back up, Morgan. Michelle is pregnant?
Yes, she's currently pregnant with my brother's child.
That's impossible.
And another thing, that condo belongs to Michelle and my brother.
But...
He bought it to provide a stable and safe environment for Michelle and their child. Neither of them want anything to do with you.
No way. You're full of it. I heard Michelle's friend saying she bought it so she could live there with me.
You're referring to Nancy, right?
Let me think. Yeah, I think that was her name.
She told me that she ran into a weird guy at the bar who kept asking question after question about Michelle. She was super creeped out. Apparently, she let her guard down and told you about her new condo, for which she apologized profusely. But for the record, what she told you is that Michelle is married and her husband bought a condo for them to live in.
Wait.
I guess you had so much to drink at that point that you completely overwrote what she said with your drunken delusions of still having a chance at love.
I can't believe this. I waited 3 whole years for Michelle to come back to me, and this is what I get?
She told you she was breaking up with you. If you were waiting for her, you were wasting your time.
Oh, come on. She was just PMSing on me when she said that.
No, she broke up with you because you were the biggest letdown of her life. And I won't let you pretend that you were faithfully waiting for your prodigal girlfriend to come home. If you were really waiting for her, then why have you been dating a different woman up until recently? And not just any woman, a married woman. Married to your boss, may I add.
What? How did you know that?
Once I heard that you were sniffing around for information on Michelle, I started doing some digging into you myself. Your boss found out about your affair and sued you. You're now underemployed, penniless, and alone. And now you're trying to get back with Michelle to have her bail you out of the hole you dug for yourself.
Hey, come on. I really am in it deep over here. I ran out of money to pay the rent, so they evicted me a few days ago. I got nowhere to go.
Not my problem, or Michelle's problem.
Can you give Michelle a message for me?
No! Now get lost, you pathetic loser! As you've just seen, my best friend Morgan was so concerned about my mental and physical health that she volunteered to get rid of my creepy ex-boyfriend for me. She managed to get some pretty detailed information on his recent trouble, too. While he wasn't fired after it got found out that he had slept with his boss's wife, it was so humiliating for him to be around the office that he resigned voluntarily. His family was already disgusted with him due to how he strung me along for 10 years, only to drive me away. But this was the straw that broke the camel's back. They completely cut him out of their lives and never wanted to speak with him again. With nowhere else to go, he remembered me, the only good thing he'd ever had in his life, and thought he would try to get back together with me. That didn't work out too well for him. Now, with literally nowhere to go, he ended up camping out in local parks for a while. One particularly hot day, he was found beneath a park bench, passed out from heat exhaustion, and taken to the hospital. At this point, I'm not sure if he lost his cell phone, it got stolen, or maybe he just stopped paying his monthly bill. But he never contacted any of his acquaintances ever again after that. I think he's alive, but I don't know for sure, and to be brutally honest, I don't really care either.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Excuse me, Christina, but just what do you think you're doing? I just saw you walking out of the office. Are you leaving already? Oh, hello there, Miss Carlisle. I hope you had a productive day so far. Yes, I took care of all the work I was assigned for today, so seeing as it's 5 o'clock, I have nothing left to do. I was just about to clock out and head home. Why do you ask? You think you have the right to just walk out of the office right away at 5? Yes, I do. I don't have anything else on my plate for today, so yeah, I'm going home. Hold it right there, Christina. You're not done yet. What about the data I told you to take care of earlier this morning? What happened with that? Are you referring to the materials you asked me to produce to be used in the presentation for the Slock Spring Industries project? Yes, obviously. I explicitly told you to have that on my desk by no later than 3 o'clock, but I don't see it anywhere. I took care of all that before lunch. You should be able to find the data in the shared folder on the company's server. What? I spoke to you in person before I went on my lunch break, letting you know it was done, and you looked me in the eyes, nodded, and said, thank you. Also, just to make sure, I sent you a message through the company's chat system after I finished my lunch break, and once again you told me, thanks, got it. You did? Oh, well, that's strange. I don't remember that at all. From the sound of things, I presume you're still at the office, correct? If you could go to your chat window, I believe you'll find all the relative messages in my tab, as well as the file containing the data you asked me for. Oh, there it is. I guess I must have overlooked it. Oh, so you managed to find it? Well, I'm glad to hear that. Well then, if there's nothing else, I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your evening, Mrs. Carlisle. Hey, we're not finished yet! We're not? I was fairly certain I had addressed all of your concerns. Is there anything else? Well, you may be finished, but I'm not. And I've been with this company for far longer than you have. What gives you the right to go home when I still have work left to do? You should be staying behind to help me finish my work. I'm quite certain that using seniority as leverage to force junior employees to stay beyond their contracted hours is a clear violation of the employee harassment policy that our parent company sent out to all its child companies. How dare you talk back to me! Additionally, they also sent out a memo encouraging efficient work procedures to eliminate the need for employees to do overtime as part of our cost-cutting measures. So, in just this conversation alone, you have violated both the letter and spirit of both corporate policies. If I may be so bold, I would recommend that you cease behaving this way toward not only me, but all of the other employees in the office. Not only are you contributing to a negative work environment, but if these violations were made known to your quarterly review committee, it would have a serious negative effect on your evaluation. That's just my 2 cents, though. Do with it what you will. What is wrong with you? Who do you think you are bringing up those stupid corporate policies to me? Just because you were transferred here from our parent company doesn't mean you're any better than me, and don't you forget that. I'm sorry, did I give off the impression that I thought I was better than you? Either that, or you're just a goody two-shoes and a suck-up to the corporate bosses. I see. Well, I had no intentions of coming off that way, so if that's how I sounded, then I apologize. And seriously, you're in no position to be giving me lectures about corporate memos or whatever. I'm not? No, you're not. Maybe if you were actually someone who mattered to this company, then I might pay a little bit more heed to your tirade right now. Look, I don't know how badly you had to mess up to be transferred here from our parent company, but the second you walked in that door, your experience there completely vanished. Poof, gone. It doesn't mean a thing here. You're no different than any other newbie, low-level employee we hire fresh out of college. I am your superior, and you will do what I say when I say. For the record, I'm not at liberty to discuss all the details yet, but my transfer here from the corporate office wasn't a punitive transfer. Oh, sure, of course. You're actually a super-duper important person on a big mission. Yeah, right, no one believes you. It's okay, it happens. They took a big chance on you and you completely failed to live up to their expectations, so they're chucking you somewhere that you can't do too much damage. Just admit it. By the way, if you're done with questions for me, would you mind if I asked you something? What now? Didn't you say you were working overtime right now? Huh? Yeah, I was, but I'm just about to leave. Why? I'm fairly sure that the materials for the Slock Spring Industries project presentation were supposed to be submitted to the department manager first thing tomorrow morning. What? Wait, I thought those weren't due until Friday. I should still have another day to get them finished. Tomorrow is Friday, Miss Carlyle. It is? Are you aware of what day it is today? Well, let's see. Yesterday was Tuesday, I think. I'm sorry, but yesterday was Wednesday, today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. Thus, the materials need to be ready by tomorrow morning, as I was saying. Oh no, oh this is terrible, what am I going to do? Well, whatever it is you're going to do, I believe engaging in such a long text conversation about irrelevant matters is a less than efficient use of your time. You little! Why didn't you tell me it was Thursday? That's what calendars are for. There's nothing in my contract that states I have any responsibility to inform you of what day it is. Christina, where are you right now? Good afternoon, Miss Carlyle. I hope you had a pleasant morning. I was just in the middle of eating lunch in the employee cafeteria. Why do you ask? You're doing what? And where? What makes you think you have the right to use the employee cafeteria? The fact that I'm an employee of this company isn't enough. My contract clearly states that I have the ability to purchase lunch from the employee cafeteria if I so choose. Oh, you cannot be serious! All the other employees here were hired by the company directly for their talent. You, on the other hand, were sent here from the parent company because of your lack of talent. We're not the same, and don't think for 1 second you're on our level. Plus, if you've got enough free time to eat lunch, then you should be working. It's 12:45 right now, and my lunch break lasts until 1 o'clock. Were you not paying attention just now? Lunch breaks are for employees who matter. You do not. I don't want to see you doing anything that doesn't involve making money for this company. You can eat after work. Malnourishment on the job doesn't only result in decreased productivity as the day drags on, it can also lead to health episodes resulting in missed work, further reducing company efficiency. Again, with the back-talking! In addition to common human knowledge that people are much less efficient when working on an empty stomach, there are multiple studies showing that elimination of lunch breaks in favor of working reduces productivity by more than is gained by the additional hour of work during the day. What are you? And most importantly, my contract says I have a 1-hour lunch break from 12 to 1. I won't allow you, or anyone else for that matter, to take my lunch break from me. Now, I'm in the middle of a delicious meal, so if you'll excuse me, I'd like to get back to eating. The chicken soup they're serving today is quite good. I would recommend you giving it a try on your lunch break. I have had it up to here with your insubordination. I'm coming right over there to teach you a lesson in this company's hierarchy. I hope you're ready for what happens next. Well, Christina, how does it feel? Have you managed to wash all that egg out of your hair yet? Hello, Miss Carlyle. I hope your afternoon is going better than mine is. Since I have you, can I ask you to explain your actions just now? Oh my God, you still don't get it? I can't think of anything I've done to you to merit having a raw egg thrown at me. I guess you really don't get it then. I bet you still don't understand that you're here because you're a useless flunky either. Is this what got you transferred? Your complete failure to respect your superiors? I still don't understand what is so inappropriate about taking a break during my break time. I am a company employee, so I have every right to use the employee cafeteria. I just told you! You barely even count as an employee of this company. You were sent here because you failed. You don't get to eat in the employee cafeteria, and you don't get breaks. Get back to work. I told you before, my transfer here wasn't punitive. And I told you before, no one believes that story. Now stop wasting the company's time and money and get back to work. I was in the middle of my lunch break. It was my time. You want to eat? Fine. You can wring the raw egg out of your hair into a bowl and drink that. I took the afternoon off, so I'm going home. What? I'm going to have to take a shower to clean up all this egg from my hair, and I'll need to put my clothes in the laundry before they smell like rotten eggs. I obviously can't work like this, so the manager told me I was free to leave. What about the presentation materials for the Edisburgh project that I told you to make today? From what I understand, making those materials was originally your responsibility. I don't see why you can't simply do your own work for yourself. But if I can't get you to do them for me, there's no way I'll be able to finish them in time. Christina, you've got some explaining to do. What's the meaning of this? Why am I being suspended without pay? Do you really need me to explain exactly what you did to deserve that relatively light punishment? Yes! Now explain what's going on right now. Wow, Mrs. Carlyle, I am genuinely surprised at your lack of self-awareness. Just what do you mean by that? You threw a raw egg at me in the cafeteria last week. Yeah, and what's the big deal with that? I don't deserve suspension for that. The employee cafeteria was quite busy at that time, which means there were a lot of witnesses. You had quite a few people register complaints with HR about you that day. What? Those pathetic losers went and tattled on me? Why? All I did was teach a snobby, stuck-up flunky like you your place. You obviously don't know how things work around here. Even if it weren't for what you did to me last week, you would still have been in quite a lot of trouble as things stood. After seeing your positively shameful behavior in the employee cafeteria, dozens of your coworkers have come forward with complaints about a serious pattern of harassment and abuse by you. Oh, they're just being dramatic babies. Is that so? Well then, let me read you a summary of their contents. It seems that for quite some time, you've been using your position of seniority to abuse, harass, coerce, and threaten junior colleagues. In particular, you apparently have a penchant for pushing off work that you should be doing onto them, typically involving threats to their career prospects or direct physical violence. I'm still waiting for what the problem is. That's just the benefit that comes with seniority. I have every right to use my position to get those children to work for me, and that goes for you too. It does? You're going to have to explain that to me. Obviously, you failed so hard at our parent company that they threw you out like last week's trash. You're lower than even the new hires we took on last week. You're nothing. You don't deserve to be paid for your work here. You should be paying the company for putting up with you. Listen, Miss Carlyle, I have tried to tell you this multiple times before today, but you just haven't been listening, apparently. For the last time, my transfer here was not punitive. Here you go again with that same old story. If you would simply listen to what I'm telling you, I wouldn't have to say it over and over again like this. You sure think you're hot stuff, huh, Christina? I mean, what is it with this attitude of yours? You act like you're some sort of corporate policy enforcement officer or something. As if you're actually valuable enough to do that kind of work. I am the corporate policy enforcement officer. Huh? You are? Well, in a way, yes. Officially, your parent company is sending me out to all their child companies to promote employee education systems. But I actually have one more responsibility in addition to that. And that responsibility is to serve as a corporate compliance auditor. A what? I'm not the only one, either. There are a number of our child companies which have, as of yet, been unable to meet our cost-cutting goals, and auditors like me have been sent to all of them. And the result of my audit of this company is not good, to say the least. In particular, many of the issues I've discovered center around you, Mrs. Carlyle. You've been with the company for over 20 years now, and you've been taking advantage of that long history in a number of illicit ways. Specifically, you've been pushing off your own work onto more junior employees while you do, well, not much of anything. Even in the company's busiest season, you do multiple hours of overtime every night, but without any noteworthy accomplishments to show for it. Meanwhile, the people you push your work onto actually end up having to rack up hours of overtime that could have been avoided if you had simply done your own work. Do you have any idea how much money you specifically have cost the company by producing all this pointless overtime? You're a total slimeball, Christina! How could you go around spying on me like this, lying about who you really are and what you're really doing? That's just not fair! Well, if I were to come out my first day and say, "Hello everyone, I'm a corporate compliance auditor and I'm here to inspect your company," I don't think that would be very helpful to my mission. I suppose you could consider me as something of an undercover agent. Undercover operations are often the only way to uncover wrongdoing, so I don't feel as though I've done anything unfair. But, I mean, if you'll excuse me, I still have an enormous amount of work to get back to. Hey! If you have any further questions about your punishment, you may direct them to your immediate superior at your company. Hold on just one moment, Christina. If you're really with corporate, then you can do something about this, right? You can use your position to stop me from getting suspended, can't you? I'm afraid I can't. Oh, please, Christina, you've got to help me. I'll do anything. My assignment was to serve as an auditor, and my mission in your company has completed. It's actually not in my authority to do anything about your punishment at all. Then, what am I supposed to do now? I suppose there's only one thing you can do. Wait patiently for the disciplinary committee to reach their decision on your final punishment. It shouldn't take very long, considering the amount of evidence I provided them with. I can't believe this. Enjoy the rest of your day. After that, while Mrs. Carlisle was able to avoid being fired, she was still sued by 2 of the junior employees she'd been harassing. And when she couldn't bear the shame of working with the people she was making monthly lawsuit settlement payments to, she quit voluntarily. It seems she's having a difficult time finding a new job. I hope for her sake that she finds something soon, however, because those settlement payments must be having an impact on her finances. As a result of my audit, the leadership structure at that company was given a massive shakeup. We've also brought in skilled technicians for new employee training. And with that, my time as an auditor has come to an end. Hey, is this the right number? You're that new part-timer that started today, right? What was your name, like Tabitha or something? Yep, you got the right number. You're Megan, right? I remember you from when I exchanged numbers with some of the people around the office this morning. I'm looking forward to working alongside you all. Could I ask what you're texting me about right now? Listen, Tabitha, you've got a lot to learn. I get it, you're young and short on experience, but this isn't some supermarket. This is a real business. You've obviously never worked in a real business before, so let me tell you how your first day is supposed to go. Step 1, buy some donuts for everyone in the office from the store across the street. Step 2, pass out said cakes and introduce yourself. Step 3, get to work. Oh, and you need to run the donuts by me first. I'll make sure you get a decent assortment, and if you didn't, I'll tell you what you got wrong. Then you'll need to buy us another round the next day, this time with the right donuts. Those are the rules around here. I'm a generous person, so I can overlook you getting it all wrong on the first day, but you better make sure to get it right tomorrow, okay? Come by my desk on your break and I'll give you a list of the right donuts to pick up, so make sure you bring a pen and paper. Those are the rules around here? Funny, I didn't see those on my contract. Excuse me? Quite the contrary, that's a workplace harassment policy violation if I ever saw one. And I suppose that's the reason you're texting me instead of saying it to my face. If one of your superiors heard you making such ridiculous demands like that, you'd get called into HR for sure. I would strongly suggest you don't do anything like this ever again, Megan. It won't end well for you. What did you just say to me? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm on my lunch break right now. If you need me for anything work-related, you can talk to me when I'm finished. What's with that attitude? Who do you think you are, part-timer? You might not know this, but I'm actually the most senior employee in this office. I've even been here longer than the manager. That makes me the one who calls the shots around here. And here you are, some part-timer nobody, thinking you can refuse a direct order from me? Okay, well, my generosity has officially run out. Now you're gonna see what happens to uppity brats like you who piss me off. I hope you're ready for what's coming to you. It's go time, Cindy. We're gonna teach that snotty new part-timer how things work around here, good and hard. Huh? The new part-timer. Are you talking about Tabitha? The girl who started this morning? Duh, of course I am. Who else would I be talking about? I don't know, Megan. I was keeping an eye on her this morning, and she really seems like a hard-working, responsible employee. I told her to bring me donuts, but do you see any donuts on my desk? No? Yeah, well, me neither. Donuts? I even agreed to overlook her numerous faux pas toward me in exchange for her bringing donuts to the office tomorrow morning. But do you know what she said? She pulled the employee harassment policy card. What a brat. Wow, that's incredible. Tabitha's pretty young. I'm pretty sure she's in her late 20s, right? On her first day in a new office, a senior employee with 20 years experience makes a demand like that, and not only did she resist, she turned it around on you? She's amazing. I know, right? She really pissed me off. So now I gotta teach her a lesson. We're gonna do the usual routine, the silent treatment. No matter what she says to you, don't say anything back. Don't even acknowledge her. Are you sure that's a good idea, Megan? The company's been cracking down really hard on harassment policy violations these days. What's more important? What some stupid corporate policy says, or what I say? Obviously, it's what I say that counts around here. We're giving her the silent treatment. End of story. Make sure you spread the word around the office. I want everyone on the same page. If you say so. Good morning, Megan. It said in my employee manual that you would be the one giving me my on-the-job training, but you haven't said anything to me since our text exchange yesterday. When I tried to talk to you at your desk earlier, you just ignored me. I was trying to ask you when we would start my training. Let me take a stab in the dark. I'm guessing this is all you're doing, am I right? Everyone in the office has been going out of their way to avoid me. If you don't like me, there's not very much I can do about it. But it seems quite improper to be acting out a personal vendetta against me on company time using company resources. Are you refusing to carry out your assigned task of teaching a new employee the ropes? That doesn't seem very productive to me. God damn it, I can't believe her! Megan, what's wrong? Calm down and talk to me. It's that new girl. How is she doing this? She knows all the procedures, all the paperwork, all the regulations, everything. Are you talking about Tabitha again? Yes. Did someone train her? Was it you, Cindy? No, Megan, it wasn't me. I think everyone is following your orders. Then how is she doing it? How is she navigating our company's complex filing system? Wasn't she given a manual on her first day? I guess the only explanation would be that she just read it through enough times to remember it all. She's only been here for 3 days. Sorry, Megan, that's the only explanation I could think of. She is really starting to piss me off. Ugh! Good morning, Megan. I think I've come to understand the hierarchy around here over the last few days. As I suspected, you're the one who's been at the center of the silent treatment campaign, aren't you? You gave the order. Fortunately for me, the work I've been given is all stuff that I can do by myself without any cooperation or assistance from other employees. So it's not having much of an impact on my work. However, that might change if this situation continues. Cindy, what's going on here? Tell me. How is she doing this? Megan, you have to be more specific. She texted me yesterday all high and mighty, saying that she can handle all her work by herself. So I ordered her to get the meeting room ready for the conference this afternoon. Oh, was that the memo that you put on her desk this morning? Yes, try and keep up, Cindy. It always takes at least an hour to get all the papers printed and set up the tables and chairs, but I gave her the order just 30 minutes before the meeting started, so there was no way she could finish it on time. But she did. She did it all with time to spare. What is that girl, seriously? Well, maybe she's just an incredibly talented young woman. Cindy, don't even think for 1 second about taking her side against me. Oh, no, that's not what I meant at all. I wasn't taking her side. I'm the boss around here. I call the shots. She could be the next Steve Jobs. I don't care. If she doesn't do what I say, when I say, how I say, then she's gone. Got it? I got it, Megan. Hey, Cindy, did you hear the big news? Some big shot from corporate headquarters is coming by our office tomorrow. Oh, wow, really? On such short notice? That's unusual. I wonder why. Who cares why? This is my big chance. Chance? For a promotion? No, my chance to get that snotty little upstart Tabitha fired. Fired? We've got to work fast. We're going to come up with all sorts of complaints to lodge against her and get corporate to fire her. She seems to love that stupid employee harassment policy so much. How about we get Marcia to say Tabitha's been body shaming her? She's as big as a whale. They'd buy it. Megan, don't you think you've taken this a bit too far? Cindy, listen to me. If you take her side against me, do you know what I'm going to do with you? Just as soon as I finish getting Tabitha fired, you're going to be the next one I put in my crosshairs. Is that what you'd like me to do? Megan, please, no. My husband just got laid off from his factory job. I'm the only income for our family right now. I can't lose this job. We'd be ruined. Then you know what you need to do, don't you? Yeah, I know. Good morning, Megan. Well, it's been 1 full week since I started working here, and you've been ignoring me since day 1. I've got some great news that I have to tell you, so I'll go ahead and break my own rules just this once and reply to you. Finally. In just a few hours, you're going to get exactly what's been coming to you for being an awful little insubordinate brat to me. This is your last chance, Tabitha. Come over to my desk right now, apologize for ever talking back to me, kiss my feet, and beg for my forgiveness. If you do that, I'll let you into my bubble. Your bubble? Are you talking about Cindy and the other employees at this office? That's right. They're all good little girls who know their place, so I allow them into my bubble and grace them with my friendship. I can be your friend too, Tabitha, as long as you follow the rules. Is that so? From the sounds of things, you fancy yourself as above the manager and treat the other employees like servants in your royal court. I don't treat them like servants. They are my servants. Now that you understand how things work around here, it's time for you to become my servant too. No, I'm pretty sure that sort of an informal hierarchy is a severe violation of the workplace harassment policy. You get that, right? Again with that stupid policy. Don't you get it? That policy doesn't apply around here. This is my office and we follow my rules. Don't like it? Then I'll kick you out. Is that what you want me to do? Because I'd love to do it. I see. Well then, I think I've let this go on long enough. It's finally time to put a stop to it. Huh? Where do you get off talking to me like that? You're nobody. Nothing. You're just a part-timer who's been here for a week. I assume you've heard that a corporate HR representative is going to be in the office today. Am I correct? An HR rep? Is it the corporate big shot who's coming today? Yes. As loath as I am to break with professionality, I have to say I am very much looking forward to the meeting we'll be having. Should be a lot of fun. Fun? What's fun about meetings? Tabitha, you lied to me. You were really part of the corporate HR team all along? What the hell is going on here? Weren't you paying attention to what I said earlier today? I explained everything then. The corporate HR office sent me here undercover to see what was going on at your office. But why, though? Why did they send an undercover agent here? I repeat, I explained that already. You should have been listening. You suspended me without pay. You're opening a disciplinary investigation on me? I was so mad that I just didn't pay attention. I'm sure you're aware that part-time employees at your office have an incredibly high turnover rate, yes? Yeah, what of it? The rate has been high at your branch for quite some time now, a few percentage points above the company-wide average. But 2 years ago, when the previous office manager retired, the turnover rate spiked sky high almost immediately. We decided that we couldn't wait any longer and had to do something, so I was sent to your office as an undercover agent pretending to be a new part-time employee. Corporate cares that much about our office? Well, it is our company, after all. It's our responsibility both to our employees and our clients to guarantee a positive work environment. And my investigation is complete. What I found was a truly unfortunate situation. You, despite lacking any sort of managerial authority, use your seniority to threaten, abuse, and harass the other employees in your office. That's not true. You've just been out to get me this whole time. What your youth and inexperience keeps you from understanding is that what I do is called leadership. Go ahead, ask Cindy and the other girls anything you want. They'll all tell you the same thing. Oh, don't worry, we're holding individual hearings with each and every person in the office as we speak. Then I'll be cleared of all these ridiculous allegations in no time. I win, you lose. You have quite an impenetrable self-confidence, don't you, Megan? I'm sorry to say, but that is precisely the opposite of what we are finding. What? We found that all of the other girls in the office do have the same story, but not the one you claim. It seems they've all been threatened by you, but lacked the courage to actually stand up for themselves. Once the big reveal was made, they were all thrilled that they finally had a chance to clear their guilty consciences. A common refrain was that they felt like a massive weight had been lifted off their shoulders. Oh, and by the way, we have a very, very large supply of evidence that you've been harassing